I know that he is the best swing bowler in this squad.
So the talk in the team is that this pitch resembles the pitch at Islamabad. Tell me about that.
Yeah, there's a ground in Islamabad. It is called Diamond Cricket Ground. Islamabad, it has a lot of grounds where they play Qazi Trophy, which is Pakistan's domestic first-class competition. So Diamond Cricket Ground, it is known for its for its bowling-friendly conditions, and the ball nips there, and it also helps swing bowlings. And I just overheard some Pakistan players saying that this pitch, it looks similar to Diamond Cricket Ground.
So let's have a prediction from you, Rashad.
Well, my prediction is that Pakistan will win this test match if weather stays good. But Ireland, we can expect a fight from them as well, because they have a lot of first-class experience. But overall, I think that Pakistan is going to win this match.
Well, it's been great talking to you. Thanks very much for your insights. That's Mazhar Ashad, Pakistan journalist. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Pretty long.
7:59. I'm here with West Indies T20 captain Carlos Brathwaite. Carlos, what does this game mean for the West Indies team?
It means a lot, not only for the team but for the people of the West Indies, and I guess it would hit home a lot more to the people that were affected directly by it. Obviously, we were affected by it in some way, whether directly or indirectly. Persons have been homeless, persons have found their way of life diminished. So I want to say thanks to all the persons who've got together and put this game on, and it's very proactive, and hopefully it's something that we can make annual and continue to put into this fund, because we never know when disaster will strike, but we need that when disaster strikes, that the awareness and the funds are there so that people can get back on their feet as quickly as possible.
Well, cricketers have taken the lead in helping this effort. I know there was a big game in Trinidad and Tobago as well.
Yeah, well, my company donated the clothing for the rest of the Caribbean team. So it's definitely something close to my heart. Obviously, sometimes we're a bit spoiled. We travel all around the world. We stay in 5-star hotels, and we forget that there's actually a way of living, not necessarily below that, but a real world where people struggle sometimes, and then that struggle can even be enhanced when disaster strikes. So it was a real wake-up call in a sense. That it happened so close to my home of Barbados, although we weren't, as I said, directly affected. Obviously, I knew someone, Kyle Mears, who was stranded there for a while, and that really hit home. The cricket community in Barbados kind of went into shock, always wanting to know updates and if they found him, that sort of stuff, if he was still alive. And I guess at that moment, the thought that one of your peers and colleagues could be that close to death was really a wake-up call. Obviously, with the stadium being destroyed and that sort of stuff, now there's one less stadium and one island or one country where potential young budding cricketers won't have a place to hone the craft, and that also hit home as well. And then even beyond the sport, there's just life in general. Persons have been displaced, obviously lost a lot. So for us to be able to use this platform to be able to give back to them, the people of the Caribbean, the persons that were displaced, even the people that are fully fit and maybe weren't there at the time of the disaster, or maybe came out with the disaster not as badly as others, is still a sign that us cricketers can use our platform for good. Hopefully more people jump on and continue to add to the fund and to continue to raise the awareness.
Good stuff, and it's been well supported by all the players. In fact, this is probably one of the strongest West Indies teams you've put out for some time.
Well, I don't want to debate the strength of the team, but yeah, all the players wanted to be a part of it. Some of the players will even donate to the fund independently, and the players have donated the wages that we would have been given for this game to the charity relief as well. So we're not only here in mind and body, but financially we're also contributing. So it's a big statement on behalf of the players, obviously, and we just want to, as I say, use this platform to help people to come together and not only raise funds but raise awareness for the possibilities of devastation in the islands.
Carlos, you were made West Indies T20 captain after that amazing final when you won the World T20. Take us back to that over against Ben Stokes, the last over.
Yeah, I've been asked this question many times. I guess it's just a level of focus, You know, bat versus ball, just concentrating, basically just took the equation, everything out of my mind, and really focused in on what needed to be done. Just watch the ball and let my body react. And thankfully, 4 balls later, it was over. We were world champions, you know. So, I mean, it's a night I'll never forget. And thankfully, I was that person holding the bat, effecting the victory. But credit must go to the team. I think that tournament was a total team tournament. In every game, someone put their hand out and won the game for us. So obviously, my 4 balls in a way overshadowed the whole journey. But I just want to, you know, pay respect to each and every person in the squad who was a part of that journey, even down to someone like Lendl Simmons, who got off the plane and won us the semi-final. Those sort of things really, you know, gave value to what was an inspiring team performance, and eventually the team spirit that took us over the line.
From your point of view, it was such a famous over. It must have been difficult to follow that. And I know you've got back into the 50-over team now, and it's back on the up. But for a while, was it difficult to follow that one over? Because he became famous overnight for that.
And we're back. You're not going to miss much of that. I think that was an interview that Dave did, probably on the square in wherever it was. Where was that?
No, that was in the Lord's Media Centre somewhere with Carlos Brathwaite, captain of the West Indies.
Wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Well, that was Mazza Ashar.
That was after we did the.
Okay.
Yeah, Carlos Brathwaite, who we interviewed at Lord's when we covered the West Indies versus Rest of the World Charity Relief T20 Challenge a couple of years ago.
Well, England require 178. Which would be the highest chase, I imagine, at this ground. 178 was the highest score at this ground.
This is the first time 170 has been scored at this ground. This is only the 3rd T20 international at East London. So
those sorts of stats are quite meaningless. And I think with England's batting lineup, they should feel quite confident of that. The bookies have them at 11-10, and South Africa are slight favourites, 11-8 on.
South Africa were looking at 200 plus after the power play and after the first 10 overs, but either Rashid and Moeen only brought them back into the game. Ben Stokes bowled well, I think, in the middle overs as well, belying his rather poor T20 record. And then Wood, having gone for plenty of runs, bowled a brilliant 19th over.
Yeah, I think we were a bit slack in the opening 6-7 overs, really, weren't we? I mean, some pretty poor average bowling in that period.
It took
of time.
a while to work out that you needed to
put pace on, right?
Well,
it was one of those
take pace off.
Yeah.
Well, no, slow balls into the pitch and then full Yorkers.
But the slow balls into the pitch were all getting stamped over. When I was watching, they were getting humped over the bloody outfield.
There was a stat that came up at the start of the 19th over that England's seamers faster balls had gone over 2 runs a ball. England's seamers slower balls had gone under a run a ball.
It didn't feel that way when I was watching it, I have to say. But the
so
stats don't lie.
Yeah, South Africa will be a bit disappointed with that. I think they've probably got a par or just about par. Maybe just about par score, but I think England, if they get off the kind of start South Africa did, should be comfortable that they'll chase this down.
Yeah, they should be. Just the batting lineup they've got. I think it's a stronger batting lineup than what South Africa have.
Well, we thought they were coming out.
We did indeed.
But they've cut back to the studio and nothing's happening. So we're going to just have to wibble for a bit.
We are going to have to
wibble away there.
Well, you have to give me something to wibble about for it.
Ollie Pope's haircut.
Well, it's not great. I'll say that. It's a bit
it's a bit full on top.
It's a bit of and
there's nothing above the ears.
Is it a wedge in our days? It's kind of like a wedge.
It's gone very short at the side for sort of the high fade, which is the pretty sort of standard young man's haircut these days. But it's just gone a little bit long on top. Ollie Pope still gives the impression of being a slightly overgrown schoolboy.
He is
barely out of school.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a tweet from Ravi the Heavy Roller Ready. While I'm glad Dale Steyn is back, this is going to be a difficult total to defend. England's batting lineup is superb. And on paper, it certainly is.
On paper, it certainly is, yes. And it'll be interesting to see what Dale Steyn does. Is he going to break down in 4 overs? Has he been bowling in the Mzansi Super League?
He bowled a lot. He was the 3rd highest wicket taker in the Mzansi Super League. Bowled well in the Big Bash as well. So he was talking about how he's...
did he have an operation on his shoulder in the end? Or
he did, yeah.
He did.
He had a couple. We have a lot of people joining us on Crick Checker for the start of this second innings, which will be underway very shortly. Odion Fisher Cox says OK. Mohammed Sadiq says nice. Never Mind King says England win. Mohammed Shamim Khan says South Africa win, I hope. Shishu Shah says England will win. Venkat Jestawati is with us. Shahid Fahim Palla. Imtiaz Maliki is with us, saying South Africa will win, as does Farman Bawa, as does Felix Kosana. JB Satyam Straw is with us. Harsh Sinha says England will win, as does JB Satyam Straw also says that England will win. Rohi Panchal says the English will chase this easily, and Ali Abbas is with us as well, and we have people with us watching on YouTube and on our own Facebook page as well. So welcome to you all wherever you're listening and watching from around the world.
And if you're enjoying our coverage, there are ways in which you can help us continue.
Do tell people, Fred.
Well, there's a number of ways. If you want to make a regular donation, small, medium, large, whatever, you can go to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket, which has 1 R and 2 L's. And you can give us a regular donation. It'll be taken once a month out of your account. It can be from as small as a couple of dollars a month, but it keeps us going. It keeps our equipment more or less working.
And 10 or over, you get on the Patreon glory roll.
Yes, if you're watching us on Facebook, you'll see the list of donors scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You can also go to our store on our website, GorillaCricket.com. We've got a merchandise store selling items of clothing, selling useful household artifacts like aprons. You can even get a Gorilla branded bat, which is made for us by
Rob Pat Bats.
Bats, apparently very good. Oh, some batsmen have emerged in the middle, and we can play their jingles.
Duckworth Lewis loves you. The clouds part for you. Nothing stands in your way when you're a Roy.
And opening from the other end will be
Pryor ain't no loss, 'cause we found someone Sutler. Okay, he can't spell Joss, but he also can't spell Butler. Joss Butler. Just because he is Joss Butler. 1 S and 2 T's, Joss Butler.
Let's dip in and out of the bowler's jingle, which takes 59 seconds. We'll start it after this ball.
It's a great one, though. Thought that was never going to get played again. First ball, Roy just guides that down towards third man. He'll get a single. This man is the bowler.
Well, you can tell by the way he rubs his balls, he's South African, it's not his fault. At full pelt, hair in him, is he on the eye, but not the chin. He's got short leg, umbrella slips, you'll need a box to guard your bits. Or you can try to clip to leg, the next one might uproot off peg. Whether it's a yoke or a wear, there's something shots Dale Staines alive, Staines alive. Hear the stumps are breaking and everybody's shaking. Dale Staines alive, Staines alive. Dale, 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 Staines alive, Staines alive. Dale, 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 Staines alive.
And believe it or not, that is perfect timing, because his next ball did actually take that long to bowl. And it was clipped up to mid-on for a single.
Yeah, it just shows it took 40 seconds between those two deliveries to bowl.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just as well Dale Steyn isn't a spinner. Great man, Dale Steyn, of course, has one of the very greatest test bowlers of all time. And his T20 international record as a wicket taker is not bad. 61 wickets in 45 games. A consistent wicket taker, not always the most economical at times. Deep square legs.
Tap at times.
Deep square legs gone back.
Yep. Next ball, Steyn just played up to mid-on. They're going to hair through for a single. It's I don't know who's filling that mid-on. Is that
Peclaquayo?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Tried to throw it underarm at stumps, but threw it really into the ground and dribbled back to the bowler. And they got through in the end quite easily.
I haven't seen the speeds come up for Steyn.
87 miles an hour that last ball.
Okay.
He was talking just before the start of the series. He slightly changed his method in one-day international cricket, whereas previously he would kind of bowl for sort of consistency, kind of like he does in Test cricket. I think he's increasing he's sort of either going full pace or slower balls these days, with the benefit of his long years in cricket.
Lovely shot. That was a reasonably quick. Well, it was 83 miles an hour. It's not as quickest, I suppose, but it's full and that's outside off stump, and button straight into his work. Just clips that past point all the way to the boundary for 4 runs. Nice shot. Nowhere near it, really.
It's a safe shot, though. He opened the face of the bat. His hands got him out of trouble. He got it through the gap. Not a great delivery from Steyn with that field.
Well, that's a beautiful shot. He's taking a little stride down the track. Yeah, Joss Butler, you got to love him. In this form of the game, you got to love him. Takes a little step down the track, snaps those wrists, and clips it over mid-wicket all the way to the boundary for 4 runs.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Strong wrists, man.
In this form of the game, and without the wicket-keeping gloves on.
I don't mind him keeping in his. Who gives a shit about keeping in his falling?
No, I think it's more important in this game than it is in 50.
Well, I know. Well, it depends, I suppose. Yeah.
People have tried to prove that statistically one way or the other. It's a hard case to make either way. It turns out.
Full driven, sort of backhand topspin with the break of the wrists. Oh my word! It looks like they tried to take a single. We didn't see with the camera work, but it clipped out. It's a bit of a misfield by Hendricks at cover. He just palmed it a couple of yards away from him, and it looks like Butler was herring down the track. Roy wasn't interested. Sent Butler back. It was a direct hit, but he was in.
Was it a direct hit? I thought the stumps were broken by the keeper.
Yeah.
It was a half stop from Dwayne Pretorius and then picked up by Buren Hendricks. Butler was comfortably in.
Oh yeah, he was well home. And it was the stumps were broken by the gloves of the keeper. I'm not even sure he had the ball in his hands because he seemed to throw it over the stumps, or was he trying to palm it on?
Hard to say, but he was in anyway.
He was in anyway, yes.
11 off the first over. Charanjit Singh Bagga says South Africa will win. Mohammed Hadiuzaman is with us. Naveen Kumar simply says Joss. JB Satyam Siro continues to chat to us on Cricket Tracker, as does Dungar Singh Soda. Welcome all. Pace at both ends.
Let's have the jingle for the other bowler.
Domination is the name of the game. In cricket or life, they're both just the same.
First ball clipped around the corner towards deep square leg. It's going to be a single.
Let's play Lungi and Edie. Are you down for Lungi and Edie?
Is that from something I've asked this before?
No, that's Depeche Mode's Master and Servant.
Ah, okay. I've never a Depeche Mode fan.
No, if you would have told me in 1983 this people, they would still be going as a band 35
I'd
or 40 years later, I would have said
they did a
no chance. They were a couple
of
of sort of a boy band from Dagenham.
Didn't Dave Gahan was declared medically dead for a few minutes in the early 90s?
He tried to commit suicide a couple of times. They did a couple of good tracks, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'm not really a big fan of that type of thing. Driven out to cover, and there's no run this time.
Yeah, they were sort of an electro boy band in the
Yeah,
early
they
80s,
were.
and
Well,
they found a sort of a
electro.
more metal-y niche, or sort of
Certainly
quite
a
Kraftwerk.
darker sound.
Yeah. But you never know.
They're big in America, aren't
You
they?
never know in that game. Mind you, in about 1964, somebody asked Ringo Starr, well, what are you going to do when all this is over? And he said, oh, I might buy a couple of hairdressers and open a boutique or something. He wasn't from Birmingham. I don't know why I slipped into Brummie accent.
Should have been Scouse. Slower ball, Wangidi. Played out to cover. This time it is
They thought it was going to last for 18 months and that would be the end of it. But another band that's still going, if at least in the High Court, all these years later, are the Beatles.
He's still going in the High Court?
Oh, yeah.
How come? What? Is it Yoko?
No, it's just breaking up Apple has taken 40 years.
Oh, really?
Michael
They're still
Jackson
trying to
owned
break
their
that
back catalogue for a long time.
Yeah, he did.
It's now 50 years since they broke up and they're still arguing.
Rafiq Qazi is very specific and says South Africa win by 5 runs.
That's very... Oh, flashed at by Butler. Doesn't get anything on it. It was wide, it was there to hit. I didn't see what the pace was.
82 miles an hour.
A bit slow maybe for Ngidi, maybe slightly taking the pace off. Played over the top of it anyway, the Butler. Through to... Couldn't the Cochran, there's no run.
Bowled that cross seam Liam Plunkett style.
Yeah.
Ngidi did bowl noticeably more slower balls in the one-day international series than he has done for a while. It is something he's been working on to try and make him a more complete white ball bowler.
Lost a bit of trunk as well, hasn't he? That's Fuller. Seemed to take the pace off it. Nicely clipped though by Butler out towards deep cow. Get back for 2. Actually, Van der Dussen, I think, out there.
Yeah, they did. He was in a fitness camp before the start of the one-day international series after he had to miss the test series with a hamstring injury. And yeah, he does look a little bit leaner.
He certainly was leaner. And last time I watched him play, he had a bit of timber around the middle.
Well, it's funny because over this winter we've heard of about 3 or 4 South Africans who have either been called to fitness camp or have said to have failed fitness camp. I can't remember another, well, apart from Pakistan in the last week, other countries don't do that.
Well, we do. That's beautifully pulled. Butler's too short by Ngidi. It's into the deck, sits up nicely. And Butler just slams it out to deep mid-wicket for 4 more runs.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is
Yeah, India do. Most teams, I think, do pre-series fitness camps.
No, but they do them, but they don't announce that people have failed them, do they?
No, you do. You only hear about them when players fail them.
That's true.
When India were coming to England in 2018, I think it was Ambati Raidu. I think failed the pre-series fitness test and couldn't play in the series, as did Sanju Samson. The players in this squad: John Smuts, Tabrace Shamsi, Lungi Ngidi,
Well, and the one who's not
and
playing
Sisanda
today.
Magala.
Yeah.
I mean, Shamsi was quite chunky. For he was kind of Samit Patel level. And Samit Patel was another man who got picked. He's an English man who got picked up for his fitness, wasn't he? I mean, everyone was joking about his mile bars out in Dubai all that time ago. That's clipped into the leg side and there's a single.
Yeah, I mean, it's not weight per se that they're looking at, but they have specific fitness criteria for each player that are individualised to each player. That, at least certainly for this specific camp I've been reading about.
I want to see Rakim Cornwall's bleep test.
Well, quite.
Yeah.
Ali Rahman says, my brother on the side, which I think means you, Fred, needs to loosen up and drink a beer emoji.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm all right.
That was my third. Oh, he's gone over the top as Butler. He's out. No, he hasn't gone over the top. Fuck it. Dale Steyn has got a wicket. And I thought Butler had got enough on that to get it over the infield, but he hadn't. Must have toe-ended it. And he basically gave himself some room, tried to slap it over the offside and mistimed it. And he's out.
Butler gone for 15 off 10 with 3 fours. I wonder if he was trying to hit that into the wind. It came slightly off the toe end of the bat and just seemed to go up in the air, and it was a simple catch for David Miller. Dale Steyn is back among the wickets.
Yeah, I mean, it may have held up in the wind, but the fact is that he got off the toe end and it was going nowhere.
Yeah, if Butler times the ball, it'd have to be a pretty damn stiff wind for him not to clear the ring.
Indeed.
Because he does hit the ball very hard.
Well,
but he's gone.
15 off 10, it's all right. I prefer him to get more, as they measure bloody 30s in T20 cricket.
I mean, depending on the game, that can be useful. But you wouldn't want to face 10 balls and go much slower than Butler did. Guinevere of Arthurshire, which is an interesting new screen name for our friend Arthur, she says, Beach Boys and Slade have both sued themselves or threatened to this decade.
Sued themselves or each other, or
I was reading the other day that
business is
Slade wouldn't allow their drummer back. In fact, I mentioned this the other day. They wouldn't allow their drummer back because he said he had a dodgy ankle.
Well, just don't let him in the van. And that's why our bands used to get rid of people.
No, it's the Aerosmith drummer. So the Aerosmith drummer had a dodgy ankle, and they were getting pulled into the Hall of Fame. The Rock
New
Hall
batsman.
of Fame.
It's Angry Redhead. Come on, work.
Johnny Best is smarter than the average Besto. Johnny Best has been this good since daycare, so all put on your wigs and let the crimson hair flow.
Right, first ball to him by Dale Steyn. Ooh, it's a big, loopy, slower ball. He went back, he looked startled. He looked like he was going to pull it for a minute, and then he realised it was going at about 10 miles an hour. It's going 73 miles an hour, actually, but and he looked completely surprised.
Everyone's laughing. I can't remember the last time I've seen Bairstow laugh on a cricket field.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
That's like that's reminiscent of Chris Cairns to Chris Reed all those years ago.
Exactly that.
Or Franklin Stevenson.
Or Steve Harmison to Clark last day of that test match.
Franklin Stevenson, who was a quick bowler, used to get lots of wickets with a loopy delivery, and people used to duck thinking it was coming at their heads.
Indeed, that's a quicker ball. Defended by Bairstow, out to cover, no run.
I do remember Sachin Tendulkar once being out to a ball that looked like it was going to be a beamer and then ducked, and he was out LBW.
Yes. Yeah,
it's happened to a few, you know.
It was
people with a good slower ball.
Graham Thorpe, I think, got done in a similar way. I can see that it did come right off the toe end of the bat, which with that wind didn't help. Simple catch from Miller.
That was Butler's we're talking about, not another one.
Dale Steyn in and tried to play through the offside, I think. Bairstow fat inside half of the bat, goes up to mid on instead, and there's no run. Dot dot dot. 3 dots and a wicket this over, and only 1 run. 19 for 1.
Not very well timed at all by Johnny Bairstow.
No, plenty of time.
But you can put yourself under pressure.
You can put yourself under pressure, yeah. But it's,
I thought the one that John Smuts was dropped off Adil Rashid, he was on 1 off 5, and in the end he ended up only with 20 off 20, and I think he put a lot of pressure on the on Pehla Choir and Pretorius at the other end.
The Stain you've got to think is a danger bowler, isn't it? It's leg side, nicely clipped. The man's up inside the circle on the 45. It's Ngidi. It's inside him and it races away to the boundary for 4 runs. And Roy hasn't really got going yet, has he? He's only faced 4 balls.
No, both batsmen are
On 4.
Guinevere of Arthurshire says, maybe the Aerosmith drummer can join Slade, the displaced Sladies become Beach Boys, and the South Africans deemed unfit join Aerosmith.
Yeah, the Aerosmith drummer, basically they were getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he hadn't played with them for 6 months because he had a dodgy ankle.
He failed a fitness test.
And he failed a fitness test, basically. They said he hadn't played enough, and he didn't have enough stamina or something behind the drums. And his ankle was still dodgy.
Aerosmith got
and
a bunch of
he,
people from the same family in it, isn't it?
I don't think so.
You're thinking Kings of Leon?
No, I think
there's quite a few
nowadays
bands,
a lot of rock bands have sort of sons and grandsons playing
Yeah.
with them.
Well, and no, that was it. So he hadn't practiced enough with them.
Oh dear, practice.
To
It's very
be in
overrated.
practice. Yeah, well, he'd been in a band for 50 years. You think he'd know something.
On our own Facebook page, Ibadur Rahman says South Africa will win.
Change bowling. New bowler. And first ball was driven up to mid-off. They don't go for the single.
And the bowler is missing. Keep talking.
No,
Where
he's
is
in
he?
there.
Where is he?
Number 5, maybe?
Oh yeah, there.
4.
Next ball is launched. Oh! And I thought it had gone further than that. That's a fucking good effort by David Miller down at long on. He actually did catch it, but he was running and he lost balance over the sponge. I think he trod on the sponge before he let go of the ball, but he had the presence of mind to try and flick it up. He actually fell over, so he's never going to get up and actually catch it again.
And that's going with the wind.
Okay. He threw it up before he went over the sponge, but he fell over the sponge, so he couldn't recover and actually catch it, and he was already lying over it anyway. Open the face this time. There's anyone out there? There's no one out there, though. Next ball gets hit by Roy over extra cover down there for long off for 4.
Well, the previous ball was, and this ball was. It's all happening.
It's all happening.
Yeah, lovely shot by Roy, just opening the face, recognising that there was no one back on the offside.
Yeah.
Only 2 allowed out in the power play.
And I imagine I imagine they're both on the leg side.
Mid wicket and long on.
Yeah,
Probably, maybe
so.
deep square leg and long on. John Smuts bowled quite well in the one-day series at times. No,
Well, he got Roy out in the one that I watched, which was the first one, I think.
First one, yes.
Yeah. Next ball is
Oh.
over. But he's got hold of that one. That's gone all the way in, virtually over the top of the stand. It's gone into a window on the top deck of the pavilion. 4-6. Suddenly, that really helps the scoring rate.
646, the number of this over.
Yeah.
So an eventful start.
Well, I mean, he must have felt. I mean, he was batting quite nicely in that first ODI, and then slapped Smut straight down long on's throat. Virtually his first ball he faced against him.
He did a lot of the work to make that to make the middle and latter part of England's innings in the third easy in theory, Johnny Bairstow.
Yeah. Well, that's flat. That could be out this time. Oh no, it's straight. I think that's a smaximum. I think that's a genuine smaximum.
No, it's a 4.
No, it's not. It's 4.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Well, take
Roy's
that,
winning this game 6-4 at the minute.
He is indeed.
Oh, that would have been a phenomenal catch from David Miller.
It would have been. It was Miller's too wide, and that was pretty straight hit. Last ball of the over is slammed into the wickets and clipped up to long on. Miller will field that. Are they going to come back for 2? They are going to come back for 2.
Running.
That's bloody good running. 22 off the over, 45 for 1 off the 4. That's how quickly a T20.
But 2 minutes ago, the couple was saying, you know what, I think we're going to bring JJ on. I think that could be good. And everyone's going, yeah, that's a good idea. And 2 minutes later, he's going, shit, that was a bad idea.
Yeah. Yep. 1 over and done, I think, for John Trevor. Not a good day at the office. Aladdin Mahmood, Sohail Khan, and Neil Maskell are with us on our own Facebook Live page. Got a little bit quiet on Twitter.
Oh, come on, peeps. Jason Roy's bashing it about. What more fun can you have, huh?
Dale Steyn bowling to Joss Butler. It doesn't get that much better than that.
Yeah, that's true.
White ball cricket. I mean, Dale Steyn's probably slightly slipped from the top of the white ball pecking order, but he's still a great shot.
That's a great shot. First ball next over, Dale Steyn. not particularly short, but wide. Allows Bairstow to free his arms, clatters it through 4 men on the offside, 3 point, out to the point boundary for 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a really good shot. I mean, there's a pretty packed
Yeah, to
part of
pierce,
the ground.
pierce a small
it's
gap.
pretty good.
Yeah, using the pace of Dale Steyn again, just slightly too full and wide.
Same shot again, same result. Found that same gap, and they seem to be a little bit closer together now with 2.
So the last 6 balls, 7 balls will be 6-4, 6-4, 2-4-4.
That's pretty good going.
Yeah. Let's check the odds.
I imagine England are favourites now, aren't they? Just in this last 6
Oh yes,
balls.
they are 2-1 on.
Are they really?
Yeah.
What's South Africa?
2-1 against.
Oh, okay. I could hedge out and make about £1.50. That's defended back up the track. There's no one, but I'm not going to.
I just have.
Have you?
Yeah, I've just locked in my profit.
No.
John Smuts is now -2 for this game, having scored 20 off 20 balls. And gone for 22 off his presumably one over.
It's amazing how often the first over gets tonked and then you come on and bowl the
Drag him
17th over and you pick up a couple of wickets.
Well,
and,
as happened to Mark Wood and Chris Jordan.
Yeah, somebody was saying on Twitter, I think it was Dick Norcroft, that he doesn't like bowling with a lacquer on the ball when it's too new, and when he bowls with the old ball, he bowls much better.
Mitchell Johnson used to.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what Mitchell Johnson was.
We're going to have
spraying
a
it
we're going to
around.
have a switcheroo in a couple of balls, 3 balls in fact. Stains in. Ooh, slower ball into the wicket. Attempted pull by Bairstow. 3 shot too early. It's a dot ball. We're going to have Hendo's going to come in.
Do you remember him?
Splendid.
He was
And
here earlier today.
Steve's going to come in. And Stephen Ware's around a 3-man switcheroo in 2 balls time. Roy is 26 off 10. Bairstow is 12 off 8. England, that's 53 for 1, and they're in the 5th over.
Roy was 3 off 3 when that. No, sorry, he was
4 off
4 off 4 when
off
that John
4.
Smuts over started.
Yeah. Steyn in again. Slower ball, bunted in the air, and vacant. Mid wicket is out, and well, it's more cow really. But there's no one up inside the circle when that went airily. It was a bit of a full shot by Bairstow, but he'll get away with it, and it's a single.
Yeah, Roy is a clean hitter of the ball. There's no doubt about it. And,
Bairstow was brilliant in his semi cameo in the 3rd ODI in Johannesburg. A very quick 40, which basically meant England didn't have to worry about the required run
Yeah, I
rate.
mean, I noticed that they got off to an absolute fly, didn't they? It's another slower ball by Dale Steyn, clipped by Roy out to deep square leg. Ratty Van der Dussen is out there. We're going to have a switcheroo, 55 for 1 England. The next voice you hear will be Hendo's probably.
The best things in life are free. Just like Gorilla Commentary, we need money. That's what I want. .com/Gorilla Cricket. We need money. I don't like the BBC. I prefer Gorilla Commentary. I want money.
Yeah, patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket. That's where you can donate to keep this show going, keep us on the road, and keep us all in warm clothing.
So we've had a complete change around. It's myself, Steve Jones, on Ball by Ball, and to my left on the tweets is Wes.
Good evening.
And to my right on Jingles, Hendo. And the start of his bowling, Ngidi's second over has been dispatched straight back over his head by Roy for one of these.
Well, that's what, how many? 3 sixes in his last 7 balls, I think.
He's not going to hang around, is he? It's good to see. No, interesting, they just showed the comparatives in the 5 overs. South Africa were 54 for 1 and England were 55 for 1. So very, very even game.
Quinton de Kock got them off to a good start, didn't he, South Africa?
Ngidi in again, and Roy steps away to leg, tries to bump this into the offside. It does, but it's not very well timed, and there's no chance of a run. Dot ball.
Yeah, decent riposte, I'd say, from an Ngidi there.
Because he Sunday in the third ODI. Started off, first 2 balls were wide, the rest of the overs were just rubbish, and he really struggled, but then he came back really well, took 3 wickets, a good bowling performance. Anything on tweets?
Nothing for a while.
Not at the moment. So it's just us. Roy prepares for Ngidi as he comes in. Good full ball on stumps, and Roy's flicked this away past mid-wicket, diving mid-wicket and into the boundary.
Yeah, I just think Quinton de Kock might have been looking a little bit accusingly at his mid-wicket there. He seemed to sort of belly flop over the top of it, didn't he?
Dived over it, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Roy did that in the South African innings, I think, dived over one at some point. So.
Yeah, there's been some poor fielding in this game today, hasn't there?
It's not been brilliant.
Actually, the replay, I think we're being a bit harsh.
No,
It was well clipped by Roy.
There's nothing wrong with the shot. It's just that you felt that maybe in this.
So a ring of 5 on the offside for Roy, and he just dabs us into the leg side and sort of a wideish mid on, just jogs around to field. We're having a look at Roy's power down the ground. He does love hitting that ball straight. 4,
just 5
shots,
leg.
3 of which have gone for 6, and 2 of 1 bounce for 4. Great hitting, great to watch.
Dark Knight of the Soul on Twitter, good to be tuning in and listening with a beer. England should walk this if Roy stays in. Having said that, a quick couple of wickets and you never know.
Dark Knight of the Soul, did you say?
That's the app.
That's a great Twitter handle.
At Jollywood.
I'm very... well, Jollywood, if you're in Jollywood, well, it's not really surprising that you're having the Dark Knight of the Soul.
A lovely part of the world. Anyway, Ngidi is charging in again. Right arm over, and Bairstow just jabs us out into the offside, and the England batsman slightly hurried in coming through, but it was an easy single there, and England's score has advanced on to 67 for 1 in the 6th over, going with a good old clap here. Used to need 2 to get to the target of 178.
Yeah, it was decently bowled by Ngidi. He dropped his pace down to, I think, something like 68 in the end there. And as you're right, there was a single there, but made a meal of it a little bit.
Yeah, wasn't as slow as the extraordinary ball bowled by Dale Steyn.
That was extraordinary, and we were watching in the green room, and wow, that was
extraordinary. Anyway, to complete the over, Ngidi is in. There's a slow ball. It's a bit of a half tracker, and Roy has plenty of time just to pull it round to a fairly close in fine leg. So England at the end of the 6th, 68 for 1.
The Bayesian Ducks CC, so nice to hear you guys again.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. Very kind.
And our very own Tony Bishop, evening team, passes safely collected from the generous Jimbo Humbo. Rain or no rain, I will enjoy my trip to the SCG.
Is that today? You're off to the SCG today? Well.
Very good.
How's the jet lag?
And Chris the Choir, evening gentlemen, just joined the Slogfest. 5 6s and a runner ball from here will do.
Indeed. I've been to the SCG. I've watched a cricket match there.
Oh, me too. I love it. It's a lovely ground.
Yeah.
It's a lovely ground.
Australia weren't playing though, so it was actually quite friendly
well,
to be.
Actually, I've been there in international matches and also for a state game. And in a state game, there's almost nobody there. About 5 people.
I think it was New Zealand versus Sri Lanka in a in a 3-way international.
Oh right, the triangle
tournament.
Okay.
Back in the 80s.
Oh, that is going back.
Yeah, it was going back a bit. Anyway, I think we have a change of bowling, and just waiting to see who is coming on. End of the power play. South Africa were 68 for 1. England are 68 for 1. So this game is trucking along really quite well. So it is Fuluqueo to come dancing in outside off stump, and Roy slashes this away down to mid off for a single. Here's the jingle.
I think JJ Smuts would have been a bit lucky to get a second over after being treated quite so savagely by Jason Roy.
Fuluqueo, the man who came in, hit his first ball for 6 and then sort of tried to overhit everything thereafter, didn't he? He's struggling a little bit. This one's outside off stump, and Bairstow has guided this into the offside. And I'm going to go and look up for this because this is quite close to
made it.
It looks like he's into us. But,
let's have a look at this one. I'm not sure actually.
The South Africans are actually quite up for this, I think.
That was out, that was out, that was definitely out. Was that definitely out? I don't know.
I mean, it was a tricky one to go for a second. I thought there might have been a little bit of danger. Then I thought he was going to get there easily enough, but it was a good throw, right over the top of the stumps.
Yeah.
Was it Rassi? We're focusing on
Looks
Rassi.
like it. Everyone's moving away now, so they seem to be sort of. There's a bat about 6 inches a foot, and then the bails are dislodged. He's comfortable 18 inches in there is Mr. Bairstow, so we will continue. I'm not that impressed with the umpire actually, because that was a long way.
Yeah, although we weren't 100% sure.
Yeah, but we weren't at
90
weren't.
degrees. That's very true.
Or on the ground.
We were about sort of 70 degrees.
Fulacquea jogs in. This is short and a short arm jab from Bairstow to line at a deep mid wicket, and that's fired back in. They've jogged through for a single. Score has moved on to 72 for 1.
Yeah, just noticing before the start of this over that the power plays were exactly
the
weren't
same,
they?
yeah.
68 for 1.
Both of them.
Yeah. So, hell, I mean, it's a bit of a blow that Smuts went for so many runs in his 1 over so far.
Same as knocked back on. Fulacquea in, outside off stump. It's a slower ball, and Roy's played this away backward of the square on the offside. And they jog through for another single. 1-2-1-1. The 4 balls from Fulacquea's over so far, his opening effort. And quite tidy actually so far, I have to say.
You just feel in this form of the game you can bowl 4 or 5 really good balls, and then suddenly one ball can just confound your whole over, can't it really? Just goes horribly wrong.
Very easy. Anyway, Fulacquea to complete the the 5th ball of his over. I apologise. And this time Bairstow pushes away. The England batsmen are looking for 2, but the fielder is in quickly, and ball back to Quentin de Kock to keep the batsman to the single. Bairstow's moved on to 18 from his 13, and Roy on 41 off the 18 balls that he's faced. Is very destructive over of John Smuts' first effort. Fulacquea in. Roy steps across to the offside, pulls this round down to fine leg for one of these.
And that's the case in point, isn't it? Really, he's ended up going for 10 from that over after bowling really well.
It wasn't even a bad ball.
No, he stepped right across, and he actually played a sort of genuine sweep shot over the top of the man on the 45, and it's 4 runs. Yeah.
Okay. Beijing Duck CC saying England knocking these off in 16 overs. Bairstow big boomer bangs a box.
It's a bit of alliteration.
I like alliteration. Very good.
Jatin Kandwal, the slower balls look to take a wicket every time.
Well,
yeah,
that last one, Roy
Steyn.
dispatched that to the boundary quite comfortably. So.
Arthurshire saying controversial question, but is Steyn using this full international series to warm up for the IPL?
I think so.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's been a very great performer in the IPL for many years now, hasn't he? And at 36.
There's a contract there for him somewhere. Isn't
Oh
there?
well, yeah. I mean, I don't imagine he's a man who's short of cash for what he's done.
Not in these days. So a new bowler, Tabraz Shamsi, is to come on. Bowling to Johnny Bairstow, who hikes this out into the deep. Bavuma, I think it is, fielding out. Oh, the ball smashed into the stumps.
Accurate throw.
And very nearly gone for overthrows. I think it was quite clearly well backed up because nothing's happened. But anyway, just the single to Johnny Bairstow off the opening ball of Shamsi's over.
Well, he bowled pretty well in the ODIs, didn't he, Shamsi? And I was just thinking about the rest of their spin options, and of course Shamsi is really it. Maybe David Miller can bowl a little bit of off break bowling, but they really do need to be taking pace off the ball. But if Roy comes at you like he did against Smuts, it really messes with your plans, doesn't it?
Especially when England spinners bowl so well.
Yes.
Anyway, he's in again, and Roy's gone for the reverse sweep and has only succeeded in lobbing it over Quentin de Kock's head off the top edge of his bat. And fine leg has had to come round to field, and they've jogged through for a single. Shamsi with his
googly, I think.
Sort of a left arm googly, yes. It's
Not the best reverse sweep that Roy's ever played.
Still, a bit of practice, you can have another go, I'm sure. Shamsi is in again, and Besto has just nudged this square on the leg side, and it's a strange bowling action, this one of Shamsi, isn't it, where he really dips his head.
I'm just
reminds me of
a little bit of Paul Adams, maybe.
Half a Paul Adams.
Half a Paul Adams, yeah. Not so. It's only I don't know what would be half a frog in a blender, or a frog in a very small blender. I don't know. So yeah, there's a little bit of that. Sort of getting his head out of the way so that his arm can come over, isn't it? Yeah.
His body angle ends up at a sort of a full 45 degrees, doesn't it? So
You wonder whether he's still actually looking where he's actually looking when the ball comes out of his hand.
He must be checking his shoelaces, I would have thought, 'cause that's the only thing he'd be looking at.
Maybe that's how he checks for the no ball at the same time.
Yes. Anyway, there's a bit of a hold up while the South Africans are reconfiguring their field. This one is short on the leg side. Roy just rocks back and punches this out mid-wicket, jogs forward and fields it. So certainly curtailing the run rate here, Shamsi, in sharp comparison to Smuts' effort earlier on.
He hasn't really thrown anything up like Smuts. I mean, Smuts is bowled flat, but maybe it's just slightly the angle and the fact that you're a wrist spinner, you can get it to turn a little bit more.
Indeed. Shamsi in again. And Bairstow has sort of stepped away to leg to hoik this, and has ended up just inside edging it down to fine leg. And Bairstow's call through for the single by Roy. England moved up to 83 for 1. Just watching this in replay again, it's pitched on or about sort of middle and leg. It would have ended up missing leg stump, I think, but certainly off the bottom edge of Bairstow's bat. Shamsi in to complete this over. And Roy has got hold of this well and truly and dispatched this to the boundary for a 4.
Exactly the same, really. 50 for Roy, isn't it? 51 for Roy.
Off 22 balls.
Keeping me very, very busy.
Little jingle for the
50 runs, your 50 runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done. 50 runs, your 50 runs. The job is only just begun.
Off 22 balls, has only allowed 2 dot balls, 5 4s, 3 6s, and a strike rate at the moment of 231.8. If he carries on like that, we'll be going home after the 15th, 16th over, I think. So, anyway, full Luqueo to continue. First over, very good first 5 balls. The last ball to the boundaries, so 10 runs off it. A slow ball outside of stump, which Bairstow only succeeds in bottom edging into the ground, and but. He never got much further than the stump, so Roy was able to call him through for the single. Just watching Shamsi's last ball of that last over, it was a bit of a half tracker, and Roy was fairly dismissive in sending that to the boundary.
Well, they've been unlucky in a sense on those last 2 overs, haven't they? They've just 5 or 6 from the first 5 balls, and then the 4 ball. Not really. Well, Philoquea was particularly unlucky. It wasn't a bad ball at all, but that was, as you say, a rank long hop, wasn't it? So Shamsi just letting himself down a bit there.
Fuller Craig game. This one sort of jags back into Roy and bounces off his thigh pad into the offside field. There's plenty of time for England to jog through for a single. I don't actually. It's not. Obviously came off the inside edge because the umpire has not signalled a leg by. So again, Fuller starting off this over like he did the last one. So looking very tidy, very neat. How will Johnny Bairstow destroy that for him? Sure, we'll find out. Looking at the changing with Chris Jordan and Moeen's not vaguely interested in the conversation. This is a much slower ball. This is going down leg side. It hits Bairstow in the pads, bounces out into the offside, and despite a rather sort of half-hearted appeal from Fuller, unsupported by any of his teammates.
Well, also another slight inside edge as well, because it's gone down as a single to Bairstow. Yeah,
indeed it has.
Didn't pick that up at all myself, I have to say.
didn't think he got the bat anywhere close to that. Anyway.
Dark Knight of the Soul saying, I once went to a rave at the SCG when I was living in Sydney during the 90s. Unfortunately, I never saw any cricket whilst I was there.
Oh, that's a shame.
Fullaquay again, another slow ball outside off stump, and Roy just waits for it and smears it out into the offside. Doesn't beat. Is that Smuts in the field there? Doesn't beat him at sort of a wideish middle, and jogged through for another single. So 1-1-1-1 so far. And it's, over from Fullaquay. He's taken a lot of pace off these balls, hasn't got over up to pace.
He's bowled well. I think.
Christ the Choir saying, has Tony Bishop gone all that way to watch the ladies play cricket, or is there some other motive?
The game has rattled into Johnny Bairstow's pads, and the umpire has given him out.
Well, I wasn't sure about that. I thought that was going down the leg side.
Be reviewed here. I'd be very surprised.
Oh, he's walking off?
No.
I think he's walking straight off.
I think so.
Well, that to me is a bit of a surprise, because I think that was slightly questionable. But well done, Fullaquay, who's got a breakthrough, which they needed desperately.
Yes, we're watching the replay. The ball keeps low. It hits him right in front of leg stump. I suspect that is missing.
I think having been given, it might be one of those that would clip and would be, one of those that would be given not out if the umpire hadn't have given it. But yeah, it's a tight one.
I think his umpire's called it best, so I'm surprised he didn't review it.
Well, I mean, Johnny Bairstow is normally a serial reviewer, isn't he? But he went straight off. Maybe
thinking. Roy said no chance.
Well, I'm just thinking, I've played a few shots, I've got a few runs. Let's give someone else a bit of a chance. Almost, dare I say it, using this as a bit of a practice game. I don't know. Seems a little odd when we have seen Johnny refer a lot of pretty plumb decisions.
Yes. Usually he doesn't have to refer them because his middle stump's out the ground.
Well, there is that as well. Yeah, absolutely. Very good point. But he's gone. He's scarpered.
So he's made way for the captain, Owen Morgan, who should be is next scheduled to come in.
He is indeed.
They would, and indeed it is him.
And here is his jingle.
T20I career showing us 2002 runs. So at an average of almost 30, quite a good performance in this form of the game. Fullaquay is changed to come around the wicket to him. Again, a slow ball, sort of short of a length, back of a length, and Morgan's just rocked backwards and flicked this square on the leg side for a single.
So that was the over that he wanted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
5 runs and a wicket. I still want to see this again. We are going to find a look at it.
So pictures, it's definitely missing leg stump.
Umpire's call. Umpire's call on the outside of leg stump. It's one of those that you can sometimes get away with, sometimes will be given.
So he would have been out anyway. Point is,
so they would have kept their review.
They would have kept the review because it was umpire's call. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well done, the umpire. He was wrong. He was right. I was wrong. So now, end of the 9th over. England up to 92 for 2. Roy still there, 53 not out. Morgan off the mark with first ball is faced. And anything on tweet?
We've got Tony Bishop saying our apartment also has this fine collection of knives in the kitchen, although I doubt there are any match for Moggs and axes.
I say.
Yeah. There's a pair of surgical scissors in there as well.
Looks like he's in a butcher's shop or something. Anyway, Shamsi has started his second over. A wide ball outside leg stump, cuts back into the left-handed Morgan, who punches out the off-stump. There's no run.
We've got Niall saying at Krusty Crouton, except our number 11 is a better batsman than their number 7. Mark Wood, of course.
Second ball again outside Morgan's off stump, and he punches his way into the offside. There's plenty of room for them to jog through for a single. Any more?
Spangly C saying, I'm amused by there being KFC ads all around the ground and then seeing an ad on the boundary telling us to go vegan.
Very good point. I hadn't noticed that, but that's very well picked up, yeah.
well spotted. We're concentrating on the action in the middle. That's why we had it spotted.
I don't like that big bucket that they're interviewing people in today.
It's a horrible
dreadful,
thing,
isn't it? Dreadful.
But it gets the message over, doesn't it? You have to say that.
Mm.
Shamsi in again. This is on leg stump. Ends up hitting Jason Roy in the pads about 2 stumps outside his leg stump. And ball jags away into the offside. There's no chance of a run. South Africa are coming back well here, controlling the England batting onslaught. That was beginning to make it look a bit easy. Shamsi jogs in past the umpire, and Roy is down on one leg and just pokes us around the corner to a fine leg. Doesn't really get hold of it very well, so there's only opportunity for adding a single to the England score.
Jeff Perkins saying, isn't Tony Bishop delivering a shipment of British axes and swords to Mong as one of the first post-Brexit trade deals to be struck without EU interference?
Absolutely.
Funding guerrilla cricket turning fully professional.
Shamsi's bowled this one outside, again outside Morgan's off stump. Morgan sort of goes back, tries to play it away, completely misses it. And Quentin de Kock collects a little bit of excitement for a moment there, but no willow on that ball, fortunately for the England skipper. Shamsi coming in to complete his second over. Again, this is a fuller delivery, faster delivery, much more on this leg side, and Morgan has just straight driven this down to mid-on for a single. And the end of the 10th, England 95.2. First signs of a gap between the England score and the South African comparative scores. Can't remember the figure, but they were well over 100, 103, 104, I think, after 10.
Indeed, and we should be having a change, but seemingly no one has come to the door for the time being. I don't know what they're all doing out there. Oh, finally, we have it, and there will be a change. I will leave you in the hands of Nakul Pandey.
The best things in life are free. Just like guerrilla commentary, we need money. That's what I want. Guerrilla cricket. We need money. I don't like the BBC. I prefer guerrilla commentary. I want money. $20 for the archive. That's what I want.
As with England's innings, it's been pace off that's done the trick for South Africa, with Andile Phehlukwayo and Tavares Shamsi. It's Phehlukwayo continuing. Bowls one that swings into the England captain Owen Morgan, who drives this down the ground to David Miller. They'll just come through for the single. Morgan to 3. Roy has been superb, 54 off 26, his 5th T20 international 50, his 3rd in a row. He missed out by 1 ball on equalling the record for England's fastest T20 international 50, which was set by Owen Morgan. England 96 for 2, requiring a further 82 runs, 8.3 and over. If they keep wickets in hand, they should be fine, but we've seen that wickets can fall in clusters on this rather sticky East London pitch. Phehlukwayo bowling to the right-handed Jason Roy. Short third man, backward point, deep point, cover, long off, up in the offside. That's battered by Roy, but straight to Smuts on the edge of the fence at cover. They come through for a single. I'm Nakul Mpande, taking you through the next 5 overs. Steve Jones is to my right playing the jingles, and Fred Titmus is to my left reading your social media messages.
Hello. There's some discussion about Tony Bishop's knife
collection.
Always a good time when you walk into a rented accommodation and there's a bunch of sharp-looking cutlery on the wall. Round the wicket is Phehlukwayo, bowls I think cross seam, and Morgan tries to back away and make room for himself and get it through the offside field, but finds only Junjun Smuts at backward point. And they come through for a single. 3 runs off the first 3 balls of this over.
Arthur Sher says that Bish told Aussie Customs those axes are for his personal use. He never travels with less than 2 axes, a halberd and a dirk in his sock.
A well-equipped Dungeons and Dragons character.
Dirk.
It's a small dagger. So yes, there's 2 men up behind square on the offside, the backward point, the cover in the mid-off. I'll try and give you the leg side field when I can. So we're focusing on Jason Roy, focusing on Andile Petlaquaya. I think there's a short fine leg, and so Roy tried to flip Petlaquaya up and over the keeper, but got a bottom edge on it, and it rolls through to short fine leg. They come through for a single. Very good change-up by, I say change-up, he's mostly bowled slower balls, but very good disguise of the variation by Andile Petlaquaya. Just the 1 run, good over so far. Just the 4 runs off it.
Some people have joined us on Crick Tracker. Imran Khan, MD Shamim Khan and Amir Malik. I don't think it's that Imran Khan.
Or
He's
that
probably-
Imran.
He's
Or-
probably busy.
Or that Imran Khan. Or that Imran Khan. For Morgan, as Petlaquaya goes around the wicket. Short fine leg, short third man, backward point, cover up in the circle. Short ball and cut away very hard by Owen Morgan. Despairing dive from the man at point, but cannot cut it off. Not a terrible delivery, but Owen Morgan's got that 4 ball that England need. Just out of the reach of the diving and leaping Temba Bavuma. Maybe a very short man, but he's got a hell of a spring on him, and it just flew over his outstretched right hand. Would have been a flying catch, a phenomenal catch. Hit very hard by Owen Morgan. 4 runs. Morgan moves to 9. 8 runs now off the Petlaquaya. Bowls into the body of Owen Morgan as he walks across to off stump, and he's got that a little bit wrong, Owen Petlaquaya, in terms of the line. Morgan's able to flip this past short fine leg. Back-to-back boundaries to finish what had been a very good over. Morgan moves to 13. England 107 for 2.
With the super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, rocka, rocka, super shatter.
Jeff Perkins wants to know if Tony Bishop has Dirk Wellham in his socks.
Or indeed Dirk Nanners. It'd be a very big sock to fit Dirk Nanners.
Team I used to play for played a T20 tournament in London about 25 years ago. They thought it was a fairly friendly standard, and was surprised to see ex-Australian international Dirk Wellham playing for the opposition.
Oh, right.
They said, I'm not sure this competition is for us, actually. Pretty quiet on the Twitter sphere front. They're all arguing amongst themselves.
Shamsi continuing bowling his 3rd over. I think he's going to bowl straight through probably, and I think how he goes is going to be crucial to South Africa's fortunes here. He starts with one that's a little bit back of a length on leg stump. Roy does well to get this into the gap in the leg side between long on and deep mid wicket. They come through for 2.
Yeah, so they need, off 9 overs minus 1 ball, they need 69. And with 8 wickets in hand,
very gettable.
They're strong favourites.
Very much so. Shamsi in, continuing left arm over the wicket. Short and pulled powerfully by Jason Roy, but it is going to be fielded at deep mid wicket. I think that's Andile Petlaquaya out there on the deep mid wicket. Bavuma, sorry, is a very good fielder. Keeps them to 1. Superb throw. And it's a short boundary, as we were talking about.
It's a short fielder.
He is, but he did very well to rocket that in and keep them to a single. So Owen Morgan is struggling for home somewhat in one-day international cricket, but in his last 6 T20 internationals, Owen Morgan averages 62.5 while scoring at 11.6 and over.
That'll do.
Certainly. Shamsi in tosses this up to the in for Morgan, a stock delivery which turns away from the left-hander into the right-hander and beats Morgan completely on the outside edge. There is no run. Good delivery from Shamsi.
It was a good ball.
Mukhtar Heran says, I am best commentator. I want to meet with you.
We'll be the judge of that.
You're not up against some great competition. We're all pretty ropey, so let us know. Send us an email. You never know.
If you're in London, certainly you will probably get a gig at least once. Full on the middle and leg stump from Shamsi, and nudged down the ground by Morgan to long on. Good start from Tabriz Shamsi, just the 4 runs, 3 off the first 4 balls of the over. England 111 for 2. Shamsi in 5th ball of the over, continuing over the wicket to Jason Roy. Might have been an attempted googly, it sort of went on with the arm, and Roy tried to make room for himself and cut into the offside, but straight to John Smuts at cover, a single.
Perko makes a pun of such epic terribleness, I don't think I'm going to read it out.
Go on.
No, I'm not going to.
You know you want to.
Do better, Perko.
You can't set it up like that and then not deliver.
Well, you be the judge. All right, I will read it then after this ball.
Last ball of Shamsi's third over, the 12th of England's reply to South Africa's 178. That was the stock delivery. It swung away or drifted away from Owen Morgan, and he had to reach for it and get the single into the offside. Bavuma jet-heeled from cover point, sends in the throw, but Roy and Morgan are quick between the wickets. Roy made the single pretty comfortably, but a good over from Tabraiz Shamsi, just 6 off it. England 113 for 2, needs 65 off the last 8 overs.
On the matter of Dirks, Jeff Perkins says, "Oh no, Knackle, it would have to be Dirk Wellham. We ain't no nanas state."
Hey! very good bad.
So bad, it's bad. And Arthur should always remember to shake out footwear in Australia in case something's crawled in. It's hard for a knife to crawl in, I would have thought. Dirk Gently suggests Chris Naquire. I'm suffering from watching a feed that is more than 2 balls behind you. Not so bad in a test match. For a T20, a little confusing.
Yeah, plenty can happen. Dirk Gently, hero of a series that followed up The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. A change at the Bunkers Hill end. Wandile Pethaquaya is going to have an over saved, and this man comes back into the attack. Bowling out very early.
Well, you can tell by the way he rubs his balls, he's South African.
Either making sure that he doesn't have to bowl at the death, or bringing him back to try and get a wicket. Who knows? Dale Steyn, the great man, bowls from right arm over the wicket from the Bunkers Hill end to the left-handed England captain Owen Morgan. Starts with one that swings a little bit, off-pace delivery, which Morgan misses full and wide outside off stump. There is no run. Good start from Steyn.
Steyn's alive. Hear the stumps are breaking and everybody's shaking. Dale Steyn's alive. Steyn's alive. Dale, 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 Dale. Steyn's alive. Steyn's alive. Dale, 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 Dale. Steyn's alive.
How many bowlers have they got available to them?
I think
just the 5?
6. Smuts has bowled 1 over. Short ball into the body and cut from Owen Morgan. Did well to cut that, given it was basically off middle and leg stump down to third man. They come through for a single.
So only 5 have bowled. So who's the 6th person?
Buren Hendricks hasn't yet bowled.
Buren Hendricks, right. Jonathan Lowe, Dr. Jonathan Lowe, says, "I have had a crazy day at work today. Finally get to tune into the cricket and listen to you guys for the last 9 overs. Come on, England." It might be less than 9 overs. For one of 2 reasons, it might be less than 9 overs. England could win or could get bowled out.
Steyn making some adjustments with the right-handed Jason Roy on strike. We've got the third man back on the boundary, a backward point, a deep point, extra cover, mid-off, up. I think only the mid-wicket up in the onside, and Roy's got it to his right hand into the gap between long on and deep square leg. Buren Hendricks, the lesser spotted, came round from deep square leg but couldn't stop it. Beautiful placement by Roy, 4 runs.
Siddhartha Ghosh says, "I love Owen Morgan." Well, that's nice. We'll pass it on to Owen in time for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, he'll stare at
Maybe
you with
something
those,
will
he'll stare at
something
you
will
with
come
those
of it.
piercing
You never
blue
know.
eyes.
Yeah, he's taken a ball from well outside off stump through the mid-wicket. He's beaten 3 men, really. A man in close and 2 men on the boundary. So
Could not have placed that any better, really, Jason Roy. Can Dale Steyn come back with balls very close to the stumps and bowls a short ball outside off stump. I think it might have been a slower ball bouncer, which Roy is hopelessly early on and swings way over the top of. Through to the keeper. There is no run. Yes, 77 miles an hour.
hello, says Raju back.
Hello.
Hello to you.
Hello.
And also been joined by KR Khalid on our Facebook page. So hello to all of you who are watching on our various platforms.
Yes, please do tell us where you're listening and watching from. We'd like to know. Steyn again bowling from very close to the umpire. That classic outswing shape that he gets. It's very full and dug out by Jason Roy to Dwayne Pretorius. He hasn't bowled either, so they've got another bowling option potentially. South Africa. They come through for a single. So yeah, they do have plenty of bowlers.
You do need at least 6 bowlers. If somebody's having a mare, you don't want them to have to come back and bowl in the 16th or 18th or 20th over.
Yeah, it's
so
not
you
just
need
'cause-
some options.
Yeah, but 6.5 bowlers, I say. John Smith has bowled reasonably well in his brief limited overs career today, but he got destroyed by Jason Roy earlier. 6 runs off this Dale Steyn over, the 4th of his final of his spell, the 13th of the innings. 1 ball left. He's in charging in with that fantastically rhythmical run-up of his. Last ball to Owen Morgan. It's that dipping slow ball that we've seen a few times today. Ends up being a Yorker dug out by Morgan, and it's fielded on the edge of the ring by Smuts at cover. So Dale Steyn's first go back in international cricket in almost a year, and with him 1 for 33 off his 4 overs. 7 runs off that over. Not a bad return, particularly in the context of this game, but England 120 for 2 after 13 overs, need just 58 off the last 7 overs.
Mark Zip sends us a picture of a song I haven't heard for 38 years, I would say, which is Dirk Wears White Socks by Adam and the Ants. We're talking about having a Dirk down your socks. And Ravi, the heavy roller ready, who's got to grip with mathematics, says 10 sixes and this match is over. So, yes, you're probably right.
Yes, indeed. 58 more to win. Jason Roy 65 off 34. Owen Morgan 17 off 15, so hasn't scored particularly fluently.
Hasn't quite got going yet, hasn't it?
Last over of Tabriz Shamsi as he bowls from the Buffalo Park drive and starts with one that Morgan misses on the outside edge. Through to the keeper, there is no run. He does have a slight issue starting against spinners, Owen Morgan, certainly more so than facing them when he's well set or starting against pace bowlers.
Went through a couple of years in white ball cricket of just guiding every ball straight to the hands of a wide slip or a
He
gully.
did, yes. Tossed up and Morgan decided that he'd rather face from the other end or get Jason Roy on to strike. Drives inside out down to David Miller at long off. They come through for a single. Yeah, it was in the run up to the 2015 World Cups, and everything was an attempted dab to third man.
And it was just, I mean, he went a long period without scoring even double figures. He had an incredibly dry spell as his England white ball career. It's fair to say he's turned that round.
Certainly, yes. I remember Ben Stokes in the run-up to that 2015 World Cup as Shamsi pauses in his run-up as a massive appeal which sees him do a 180 across the pitch. Pretty sure this pitched on leg and was turning down leg. It was a good delivery from Shamsi, but pretty sure that's missing.
He stopped in his
leg
delivery stride. Is that something he
I've not seen him do that before. I think he might have thought that Owen Morgan was backing up too far at the non-striker's end, but it was a slight pause in the action.
I thought he was going to stop.
It was a very good delivery.
It was a penalty taker's stutter.
It was a little bit. Leg by ensues. Morgan back on strike. Shamsi in. Roy very much determined to keep the bat in the crease until the point of release, as all batsmen should. Full on off stump and clipped by Morgan down to long on. There is no run. Yeah, you see him stopping. Morgan just about hold his ground. Morgan is looking right at Shamsi from the non-strikers end to make sure that he is not caught napping. 2 runs on the leg by off the first 4 balls of the over, and Jason Roy tries to increase that by some and increases it by 1 with a rather badly mistimed bottom edge of the bat off the slog sweep. Single taken to deep mid-wicket.
We did ask where people were listening to us, and Spit the Dog says, I'm driving to Morgan Hill, south of San Francisco. In the sun. You did ask. And Peter Jones, P the J, says Jason Roy looks like the South African bowling isn't the only thing he's been tucking into.
Last ball of Shamsi's spell, it's been very good. Bowls to Owen Morgan, but that's a poor ball to finish. It's short and magnificently whipped with incredibly strong wrists and forearms by Owen Morgan. Wide of the man at long on. 4 runs off the last ball of the over. The over goes for 8. Shamsi finishes with none for 25 off his 4. Decent, but not as penetrative as South Africa needed. He was not able to do what other Rashid was, and England have played out him and they played out Dale Steyn, and off the last 6 overs they need just 50 to win. Slightly ruined his figures and his over, Tabriz Shamsi, with that drag down. Still decent, but if England if England don't have a horrible collapse here, this game should be theirs.
Well, as Satyaveer Swarabi says, still Stokes and mowing to come. It's England's game to lose. South Africa's pace not so effective today.
We do have the man who has not yet bowled today. I'll talk about death over specialists coming on for your first over in the 15th of the innings from the Bunkers Hill end. It's this left armour.
The Saffers are reeling and can't get a break. Their pacemen are injured, they hurt and they ache. Dale Steyn hurt his shoulder, so they're short a bowler. Hendricks and Hendricks. Hendricks is in.
Buren Hendricks bowling left arm round the wicket to the right-handed Jason Roy from the Bunkers Hill end. Short fine leg, backward point, cover mid-off, deep point, deep square leg, deep mid-wicket, long on. Oh, in fact, Buren Hendricks is switching to over the wicket, in fact. No change to the field. He's in with his very nice, easy run-up. A tall man, Buren Hendricks, and uses his height well. Very gentle run-up. Balls from mid-crease, short delivery, and Roy read that so early, and off the front foot, almost a stand-up sweep, slaps this between deep mid-wicket and long on for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, a bit of a loosener really from, or not a loosener, but a gentle start from Buren Hendricks, and Jason Roy is seeing it far too well to miss out.
Siddhartha Ghosh, soon after expressing love for Owen Morgan, says, "I miss you, AB." Well,
it might not be too long till you see him back.
Every indication is that he will be back in a South African shirt.
Round the wicket now comes Buren Hendricks. Slower ball bounce away outside off stump. Would have been a wide probably if Roy had left it, but Roy is not in the leaving mood. He's through the shot too early, comes off the toe end and loops to short fine leg, who takes it easily above his head. Jason Roy with the slowest of all trudges off the field, but 70 off 38. Super stuff from Jason Roy. But England 132 for 3. Simple catch for Lungi Ngidi at...
Yeah, it was such an easy catch that Denley would have dropped it.
at short fine leg. Jason Roy well and truly done by the lack of pace, but 70 off 38 with 7 fours and 3 sixes represents a pretty good return to T20 colours for Jason Roy.
It's almost a complete copy of the way he was out on Sunday, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. That wasn't quite as
pulling it from
wasn't quite
outside.
as obvious a slower ball. It was a good back of the hand slow ball by Buren Hendricks. But it's about a week early on that shot, Jason Roy.
Yeah, if he would have missed it, I think he would have been harsh to call it wide because it was inside the tram lines. But it was definitely too wide outside the off stump to try and fetch into the leg side. And that's,
certainly once he'd completely lost all momentum in his stroke, he was almost decelerating.
Not Stokes in at 5.
No. It is not. It is the man who I've dubbed He's Done All Right.
Joe Denley, he's almost as old as this theme song, but Chef is gone and we need someone to bat at the top of the order. Joe.
Or Joe, he's hit the field, Denley. Buren Hendricks in, and Joe Denley misses the field. Very open face, almost a thick outside edge, down to Andile Pehlakwayo at third man. They come through for a single.
Did I see that? He was averaging 9 in T20 internationals at under a run a ball.
Can't be right.
In his 10th T20.
He's averaging 11.62 in T20 internationals.
And the strike rate?
Let's have a look. But yeah, that's not a record that inspires confidence, is it?
No.
Maybe Stokes will be in quite soon
then. Yes, under a run of ball. Short ball from Buren Hendricks at full pace this time, and Morgan sways out of the way, unsure as he was of what shot to play through to the keeper. There is no run. Very good introduction to the attack for Buren Hendricks so far. Still 2 balls left to the over to ruin it.
We've spent like the last year and a half being completely underwhelmed by Joe Denley's statistics in virtually all forms of the game. But he still seems to be there all the fucking time.
Got a white ball contract somehow. As Buren Hendricks slightly false starts in his run up for the 5th ball of the over. Short fine leg, quite fine. Short third man, extra cover, and mid-off, bowls full pace into the body of Owen Morgan, who can just only just nudge this into the leg side for a single. It's been, as I say, good stuff from Buren Hendricks, bringing Joe really needs to get a move on Denley.
I wonder, you'd think Stokes, it was a perfect time for him to come in. I wonder what the thinking is. I'm pretty sure we saw him down at number 5 in
the
lineups earlier, although they're not official lineups. I mean, it's a bit odd.
A little bit. If England win this game, I don't think anyone will care particularly. Buren Hendricks again has to stop in his run-up. He turns at the end of his run now from the bunker's hill end. Left arm round the wicket from quite wide of the crease. A short, slower ball, and I think that's just fallen short of Quinton de Kock behind the stumps. If that even came off back, frankly, it might have come off shoulder and looped through to Quinton de Kock. A very good over from Buren Hendricks for his introduction to the attack. Just the 6 runs off it and the wicket. England 134 for 3, need 44 off the last 30. Can they screw it up from here? We'll find out very shortly, but first, a little bit of word about how you can support the show.
Yep, you owe us all right. You think this alternative cricket commentary stuff comes cheap? Well, we need some dollar bills to help pay our bills, so please go to patreon.com/GorillaCricket and sign up to make a regular monthly donation. You know there is literally nothing like Gorilla Cricket's coverage, so don't be tight. Dip into your virtual pocket and throw some cash our way. See, Rihanna knows. Patreon.com/GorillaCricket.
Supersport interviewing a man who's just won some chicken.
It's not the worst thing to win. We should say, of course, that was a very good over from Buren Hendricks. Belatedly brought into the attack. Lovely mixture of short back-of-the-hand bouncers, which England weren't picking at all. Felaquayo's back into the attack, though. And England need 44 from 30 deliveries. 134 for 3s. Round the wicket to Morgan, who'd started to come across his stumps and waited for the ball, which was straighter, and steered it to long on, taking the single. He's moved to 25. Denley coming in ahead of Ben Stokes.
Well, did you see the stats they flashed up on screen? Joe Denley averages 11 in T20 international cricket under a run a ball.
That makes it even more peculiar.
But how many T20s has he played?
This is his 10th
in the last 2 years.
This is his 10th.
I mean, I totally understand the notion of giving Joe Root a rest, but the suggestion when this squad was picked that he was being dropped in one sense, and then you find room for Denley in a T20. I just don't understand that at all.
Denley, he's very good at... Sorry, after this.
He's down the wicket and he crashes this very well indeed, having said that. But it's going to be picked up by Bavuma, making ground to his left. At long off, they'll get back for 2. Denley moves to 3 from 3. But, you know, when you've got the attacking talents, Dawid Malan sitting on the bench, Tom Banton has been dispensed with for the time being.
When Denley's 34 as well.
It doesn't really make much sense. And if you want someone in that order who can just rotate the strike and move it around, who better than Joe Root?
Joe Root, yeah, exactly.
Felaquayo in, back of the hand, but Denley, as if to say, you terrible people, has come down the wicket, smashed it, and then, well, that was Joe Denley. He's hit it very flat, he's fit it very well, he's timed it beautifully, it's gone straight into the breadbasket of Rassie van der Dusen out there at deep mid-wicket, and he's gone.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at?
Guinevere of Arthurshire says, Joe Denley is the poor man's Joe Denley.
Well, he got hold of that pretty well, but in off the fence came the fielder. And that is the 4th England wicket down. Suddenly England making, a mountain out of a molehill, really. They were so far ahead of the rate. But we look back to the South Africa innings and it was something similar happened in that. They had a very good start. But now they're 137 for 4, Denley going for 3, and I imagine we will now get Ben Stokes.
At least Denley failed quickly.
That's true. Run the ball.
Nicholas Morris says, thank you for the brilliant coverage. Tuned in from Trinidad. Come on, England.
Yes, well, I suppose you would say that if you're an England fan as opposed to a South African fan. There may be some South Africans out there listening to us. Hopefully there are. Ben Stokes has come to the crease. He's got a jingle that's quite long. Goes like this.
I got a Ben Stokes and he called me a
Felaquayo in, balls chopped by Morgan because, of course, they will have crossed. He'll get a single. Now, we talk about Joe Denley's only averaging 11 in T20 cricket. But the mighty Ben Stokes is only averaging 15.
Not many.
So it's,
his T20 international stats really are not good, and he's taking. I think he takes about a wicket every 2 games in T20 international cricket. That said, he did bowl well today.
And you wouldn't really, in all ways, in all manners of speaking, leave him out of an England team if he's fit to play, or unless you're trying to rest him.
No, I mean, he's very much underperformed against his ability in T20 international cricket.
Feliqueo racing in round the wicket to Stokes. Stokes tries to just nibble that away on the onside. The lack of pace on the ball means that he plays a bit early and just ends up pushing it back to Feliqueo, who's bowled really, really well now. 2 for 31, 1 delivery left in his spell.
That's what I was just about to say. They've only got one more of him. They've got Hendricks, but then they've got to go back to probably Ngidi at the other end. Or Pretorius, actually, I suppose, because he's not bowled yet.
Well, it's definitely about taking pace of the ball and the disguise you can put on those balls that end up being slower as well. In comes Feliqueo to Stokes. Stokes goes back, turns it through the vacant mid-wicket area. Will get 1 as Reza Hendricks, I think, is on for somebody. He's done the fielding at deep mid-wicket. That is the end of the 16th over. Just 5 runs from it and the wicket. England 139 for 4.
Very good from Feliqueo. I think 2 for 32 off his 4 overs. Shamsi also bowled very well, and Hendricks' first over was superb, but it may not be enough. Jeff Perkins says, surely Joe Denley isn't even Joe Denley's Joe Denley. Beijing Duck says, we need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero. Bonnie Tyler, get your heroes out for the lads.
I saw Bonnie Tyler at the last night of the Proms thing in Hyde Park. In Hyde Park, the thing that they have that runs concurrently with the actual last night of the Proms at the Albert Hall. The night I went to see Barry Manilow was on there as well. But
like a sort of pop Proms.
Yeah, but Bonnie Tyler was on singing her favourite song.
Yeah, I put on a Spotify mix just because I didn't really want to think about what I was picking while I was working, doing some writing today. And Bonnie Tyler singing "Holding Out for It." Sorry, Total Eclipse of the Heart in French came on.
Oh, well,
the first line of which is apparently "Je tourne around." Which surely cannot be right.
That can't be right. That really can't be right. The required run rate has shot up to 9.75, and in comes Hendricks, worked by Stokes out to deep square leg. Miller, I think, is the man coming in there, swooping and getting the ball in quickly to De Kock. So just the single for Ben Stokes. England could easily muck this up,
Yeah.
140 for 4.
I mean, they nearly mucked it up in the third ODI.
Yep.
Wouldn't necessarily bet against them to do it again.
No, you wouldn't. Absolutely. Hendricks has bowled very well so far. He's coming in. He's got 3 men in the circle on the offside. He's into Morgan, bowls another slow one, and he smashes this with a cross bat, straight as you can get it. And that's probably the only place he could hit it with that sort of power. And it's brought him 4 rather important runs. Yeah, so Morgan just thought, I'll wait for this. It was another short one out the back of the hand, and then smash it straight with a cross bat.
Baseball.
It was just the one bounce. Yes, it was much more like a baseball shot than a straight batted cricket shot. You wouldn't be able to hit that for 6 with a straight bat. He's in again. He bowls another of these short balls, which Morgan tries to ramp over the top of the wicket keeper, but the ball just follows him, and he gets nothing on it at all. And through on the bounce it goes to Quinton de Kock. So a clever response.
Clever bowling, because at that pace, even with the ramp, it's not going to carry for 6.
Exactly. Absolutely.
You've got to time it superbly well,
especially when it's aimed right at his head.
Yep.
He did well to follow him.
Sway.
He's in again, full of ball, which is just lifted past the bowler at catchable height, but just out of his reach to mid off, or rather long off. They take a single, 145 for 4. 33 runs required now off 20 balls, and it's getting tricky for England. Stokes yet to feel the bat on ball as he would like, and makes you wonder, that move to bring in Denley, really, was that the right move?
4 balls shouldn't cost England terribly, but it's not like John Smuts who ate up 20 balls at a runner ball.
Well, no, true, but Stokes is yet to get his timing.
Yeah, to be fair, Morgan's not going very quickly.
Indeed, 31 off 26 for the England captain. In comes Hendricks again. Bowls short, he pulls. Half stopped. Is that Dale Steyn on the 45? It's Pretorius, in fact. But they have hurried through for a single. I do prefer the new Dale Steyn hairstyle. The short cropped one with the little moustache.
It's less 1940s throwback.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a little worrying at times.
I think he actually looks younger with it.
It was during the T20 World Cup, wasn't it, where he went very, very short on the sides.
Yeah, it was very, Nazi-like, wasn't it? I'm afraid to say. He's in again. Bowls short, pulled fine enough this time by Morgan to get it away to the boundary for 4 runs.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
England's 150 comes up. 3 overs to go, 28 required.
Just made things a little bit easier for England. Those couple of boundaries off Bjorn Hendricks just slightly straying in line on that occasion. Jeff Perkins says, was that you wouldn't leave Stokes out of an English team unless you wanted to rest him, or was it arrest him, Hendo? Peter Jones says Joe Denley is the equivalent of the bounty in Attila's celebrations. No one wants him or knows why he's there, unless you're Sumit Patel. Jeff Perkins says, wham, Barry Manilow, Bonnie Tyler, you keep digging a deeper hole, cat-sitting Hendo.
Just because I end up seeing these things doesn't mean that I actually chose to go.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of wham.
Just going back, it's my old friends, they fancied a night out.
Your old friends Barry and Bonnie?
Yeah, no. Barry, I didn't realise Barry was 76. He did put on a good show for his age.
Guinevere of Arthurshire says Denley is an adverb. As in, he's hit the field with that cover drive, Denley.
And Arthurshire, you do have a reply from me now.
Yes.
Just in case
he's replied to your reply.
Oh, he's replied to my reply.
Or they have replied to.
They have replied. Ungi Ngidi is coming back into the attack as we forecast he would have to. 2 overs to 20 earlier on. He's going to bowl round the wicket to Stokes. Both England batsmen out there are left-handers. Big strides, in he comes, bowls, and not a bad ball actually, a little off-cutter it looked like to me. He's interested in appealing for the catch as the ball goes through to De Kock, but Stokes didn't get anything on it, but it's a dot ball and they are important at this stage. Stokes is on 3 from 5, Morgan 35 from 27, really want Morgan to be on strike at the moment. Strange thing to say, of course, when you've got one of the world's best all-rounders out there in the middle.
Yeah, although, as we said, his T20 international record is really poor, and he's had, certainly his last IPL was pretty middling.
And again, he's going to play the reverse pull shot to this one, and I think they should have run through for 1. They did, as this was Dale Steyn doing the fielding on the 45. 151 for 4.
South Africa will be regretting maybe not picking a second specialist spinner. They had the left-arm spinner Bjorn Fortuin in the squad.
Yes.
Pretorius hasn't bowled, so it's hard to say he's done very much.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Smuts was taken apart by Roy in his first over.
Hindsight, schmindsight and all, but...
Yeah. In comes Ngidi to Morgan. Batter loft. I said bottle loft. He's hiked this round the corner. It was again full but slow. And it's only going to be a single, so just a couple of runs off the first 3 balls of this over. Very good from Ngidi. England 152 for 4. They now have 15 balls left.
It would be absolutely ridiculous if England managed to lose this 6 wickets down.
Yeah, indeed.
With Moeen Ali, Curran, Jordan,
Rashid.
even Wood.
Yeah, maybe Wood's the man to send out there after what we saw. Yes, indeed. Now Stokes has gone for the big hike towards mid-wicket, and he's gone. Caught at cow, and Ngidi has a wicket, and more importantly is a dot ball, and more importantly than that, he has one of England's best attacking batsmen out. 152 for 5. I do think that what this pitch is showing, and what this mild capitulation by England is also indicating, is that if you are a bowler of any pace on this pitch, you just need to bowl slowly.
Bowl slower.
If you get a ball of full pace, then you're probably going to hit it for 4.
We worked out that basically, unless you're bowling a Yorker, you basically can't bowl full pace.
Yep, absolutely. Well, the South Africans in the crowd are absolutely delighted. A song is being sung, dances are being danced, and they are now feeling that they're in with a very good chance here. Just the 2 runs and a wicket from the first 4 balls of Ngidi.
Yeah, Stokes 4 off 7 balls.
Yeah, just
going
couldn't find his
barely
timing.
over 3 and over, barely hit the ball off the middle. I think that in fact was the only ball he timed.
Yep. Well, it's Moeen Ali come to the crease, but I imagine he won't be facing initially. They will have crossed, surely. It will be Morgan to face. Ngidi in. He has to wait for that, and then he crunches a shot backward a square on the offside, but it's only a single. They've got 2 men behind square on the offside. It's not much room for him to thread it through, and without pace on the ball, it makes it even more difficult. We're just looking at a replay of that Stokes dismissal. He had to drag it, didn't he, from outside off stump to try and get some
across a long way
power into the shot, but just wasn't his day. And Ngidi has done really well. Final ball of his 3rd over. He's into Moeen, and Moeen drives wristily, airily. Certainly he'll get 1. Will he get a 2nd? Yes, he will. Round comes Filiqueo. So a good start for Moeen Ali. 2 vital runs for England. Take them to 155 for 5. They have 2 overs remaining, and they still need 23 to win.
Chris the Choir says, my life is complete. I've heard Knuckle singing Bonnie Tyler in French. Just when you think Gorilla Cricket can't get any more eclectic. Abdullah Hayder showing his Kiwi is showing. Wouldn't mind a super over here.
Ah, good point. Is there a super over here?
Yeah, there will be.
Okay.
It's in all T20 international cricket these days.
Okay.
Beijing Duck CC, can we have a jingle sung in French by Knuckle? Trust me, you do not want to hear that. Guinevere of Arthurshire says, Gorilla Cricket, Wham, Barry Manilow, Bonnie Tyler is a strong concert bill. To which Jeff Perkins says, last night at the Poms.
Hey.
Peter Lloyd says, to be fair, a decent amount of Barry Manilow is a lot younger than 76. And Beijing Duck says, so that was done rather denly by Stokes.
It was a bit Denley-ish. Anyway, what are we going to have? Boer and Hendricks coming in to bowl to Morgan. It's right up in the block hole, but he manages to drive it to long on. It's only going to be a single. England need more than that. They need pretty much 2 runs per ball. I think South Africa are going to do this, you know.
Yeah. How many would England take off the last over?
9.
I was going to say more, 12.
I think they could go for 12. Yeah, I mean,
just into the double figures.
If they don't get 8 or 9 from this over, they really are struggling.
Really in trouble.
Honestly, in Moeen we trust.
And you can see Paul Collingwood's right leg is just trembling away there. He's got that little nervous jump. This is driven down to long on again. It's only a single once more. Hendricks has bowled magnificently since coming on so late as well. And in fact, he'll be left without 1 over used. Whatever happens here, this is effectively his last over.
Yep. John Smuts stole his over.
He did. Hendricks again, left arm over the wicket, into Morgan, bowls him a short one, pulls it. Where's he got that? Yes, he's got all of it. He's got it. Finer of the man running round to his left from deep backward square, and that is an absolutely crucial 4 for England. Morgan goes to 42. You're never quite sure with those shots, the pull shot. But actually, you have to say that a couple of times when he's been under pressure here, Morgan, he's played very good pull shots, and certainly in terms of his placement. This one he drives through the covers. He's hit that beautifully, really well indeed, and that has raced away to the extra cover boundary for a 2nd consecutive 4.
1, 2, 3,
And suddenly the singing and dancing in the South African crowd has been brought to a dramatic halt.
Yeah, Morgan took 2 fours off Filiqueo's penultimate over, didn't he, in about 4 balls, and now he's just found a couple of boundaries again when he's needed them.
Just missed the Yorker there, did Hendricks.
Yeah, he was looking for it. He's in again, 13 off 8, and he smashed this high into the night sky. Has he got enough on it? Yes, he has! At squarish cover, despite the leap of the fielder out there, Morgan, when it was needed, has done the stuff that was required. He goes to 50. England needs 7 from 7.
52 off 33 balls for the England captain. That continues his superb run in T20 international cricket in recent times. 7 fours and 1 6.
3 balls ago, we were thinking, can England do this? But he's really put that to bed, and he smashed this one down the ground. He's been caught, though. He's been caught by Bavuma at long on. He's crossed with himself. He throws the bat across his body in disappointment and annoyance, and suddenly South Africa are back in this as well. We've had 1, 2, 6, 10, 16 runs and a wicket in this final over from Buren Hendricks. 2 for 33. He finishes with 171 for 6.
Oh, hello. Is it a no ball? Is it a no ball?
No.
Yeah. Oh, that's close.
That is
That's very
incredibly tight. I think there's. Oh, what's smaller than a millimetre? What is smaller than a millimetre?
A micrometre?
A micrometre.
A millimetre.
There must be something smaller than a millimetre.
Micrometre. A
nanometre. A nanometre. Well, it's a
Nanometre,
nanometre.
yeah.
It's a nanometre of foot, of heel behind the line, I
if
would
that.
say. I would say.
I'm not sure there is.
Oh,
that's so close.
Oh, that's a really difficult one to give. We're going in for the close. Up.
I think that's an. Oh, is the tiny little bit of heel just raised? Oh, that's close.
The
I think he
not quite
just gets away with that, wouldn't you say? I'd say he gets away with that just.
Ever suggest.
But we're going to have a lot of looking at that one.
If that bit of rubber didn't stick out on the back of his
yeah,
boots.
I think that's absolutely right. It's the shape of the shoe, isn't it? We get on to Nike about that. They've been doing some interesting things with their shoes of late. Yes, that is incredibly tight.
I'm checking the back foot, no ball.
Yeah, we're now looking at the back foot, no ball.
That is a back foot no ball. That is a back foot no ball.
Well, there you go. It's got to be a no ball one way or another,
way or
which
the
means
other.
that Owen Morgan is going to be called back, I would think. No. The umpire says no.
That's right. That's right. Of course, something has to be grounded, but over the foot has to actually cross the back line.
Well, there you go.
No ball.
Well, right, there you go. The back foot was in the air, so that's not a no ball on the back line, on the sideline. And Owen Morgan has to go 52 from 34, but he's those 3 shots before that have given England every chance of finishing this off. And, well, it's turned into a pretty exciting match in the end. There's been a tendency for England and South Africa T20s to be close and hard fought.
Well, the third ODI turned into a thriller out of nowhere, seemingly.
Well, that's the thing about with teams. They have these teams have their flaws, and the flaws can actually make for quite exciting cricket. Tom Curran, who's had a really good time in the BBL, has batted well as well as bowling well, is the man coming to the crease. England need 7 from 6 deliveries.
Give him a jingle.
Yep.
The most effectual top cat, who's intellectual, whose friends get to OTC.
Well, England certainly don't think this is over. Joe Denley standing at the back of the dressing room, biting his nails. There's a rather pensive Paul Collingwood. And it's going to be Ngidi entrusted with the final over of this match. Over the wickets, the right-handed Tom Curran. He pulls up about 10 yards short of the stumps, just to add to the tension. Owen Morgan is sweating, but he's sitting there. He can barely watch. Very intense Johnny Bairstow, but then Johnny Bairstow does tend to be quite intense. Ben Stokes alongside him. Jason Roy has some concerns. Here is Ngidi, bowls full, whipped away by Curran. Good angle that he's got there. Should get back for the second to deep backward square leg. So England now need 5 off 5. 173 for 6. Some of those England fans who were looking rather bored earlier. I'm not really quite sure why you would be bored when you're on a cricket tour watching cricket, enjoying great summer weather as well. But they were. Now they seem to be on their feet a little bit more. And Quinton de Kock is chewing away his wicket-keeping gloves.
Everyone's chewing their nails.
Everyone is nervous. Everyone is nervous. There's a test for de Kock, who hasn't done a lot of captaincy of this sort. He's just bringing another man up inside the circle at mid-off, certainly trying to save the one
Only
there.
the third T20 international he's captained in.
Here is Ngidi into Curran, who swings this away. Has he got enough on it? I think he has. No, he hasn't. It's dropped short of the boundary at deep square leg. It's dropped into the hands of David Miller, who then rolls onto his back, having pouched it cleanly. And suddenly England have 4 balls, 5 to win, and 3 wickets in hand. Indeed he is. Tom Curran goes for 2. He decided to take on the big shot. It was a slowish delivery. He was through the arc of the shot a little bit too early, and that's why he didn't catch it as well as he would have hoped.
They need a runner ball. There's a man out there. Why not just take the single?
I was just about to say that. I don't. It's very hard to criticise anyone for getting out trying to hit a 6 in T20 cricket, but that on ball, scamper,
absolutely.
You've got Moeen at the other end, one of the best hitters that England have produced in years.
They would have crossed though, so he will be on
That's
strike.
true.
I suppose the thing is, no team, when it comes down to a really tight finish, wants to leave it to the very last ball.
To the last ball.
So you try to get slightly ahead of yourself, and that's perhaps what he has done there. Owen Morgan is chatting with Chris Silverwood at the moment. They don't look confident, let's put it that way. But 5 runs are required, 4 balls to go. Chris Jordan is the new man to come to the crease.
The man who saw England take it to a super over against New Zealand.
Indeed.
And the man who bowled a quite brilliant 20th over.
Yeah, exactly.
And his 18th was quite good too.
Well, I guess it won't be him facing, will it? It should be Moeen Ali, because they will have crossed.
Yeah. In Moeen we trust.
Well, do we? 5 required or 4
1 ball,
balls.
Moeen.
You have to get runs every ball, whatever happens. Round the wicket, Ngidi bowls. Oh, he swung across that and completely missed it. Clever bowling from Ngidi, but really not terribly bright from Moeen Ali. And suddenly it becomes 5 off 3 balls. I think England, as I said a couple of overs ago, again going to throw it away from a winning position. How
it changes.
Really, yeah. And you look back on that shot from Curran and you think to yourself, just to take the single, man, take the single. But, well done, Quinton de Kock. He's got the right bowlers at the right time, it would appear.
And good bowling from Ngidi as well.
Very good from him.
Pace off.
He's in again. Moeen Ali comes across his crease, works it into the onside. They have to think about going for 2. They will get back for a second. Would you believe it? It's only gone as far as an orthodox mid-wicket, but the field is so well spread that they've been able to get back for 2, and now England need 3 from 2 deliveries. Oh my word, it couldn't get any tighter.
Super over well and truly on the cards.
Oh yes, well actually I wouldn't mind a super over, to be honest.
I'd miss my train.
I would. Yeah, well then you'd have to make a choice, wouldn't you? Do you stay for the super over, or do you go for the train? I don't know why we're looking to see whether that was a no ball. It's nowhere near a no ball.
Half his foot behind the line.
I did wonder why Buren Hendricks felt the need to be that close.
Well, yes. Sometimes you're just trying so hard. They're looking at an LBW here. He got an inside edge onto pad. So no danger there, I don't think, from Moeen Ali. Sort of throwing, I suppose, a little bit of just hope into the mix there, South Africa.
By a bit of time. Try and get their tactics right, maybe.
Well, there is that as well, I suppose.
Yes, the last over of a T20 is known to take many minutes.
Yes, indeed. Well, everyone is tense, but everyone's enjoying it. It's 175 for 7, and Ngidi has 2 balls to bowl. England need 3 runs. They have 3 wickets in hand. They have to get something from this ball. So it's going to be Moeen Ali facing again. He's got to wait for the ball. That's what he's got to concentrate on, not go after it and try and hit the big shot. I think he's got to wait for the ball, because it's almost certainly going to have pace taken off it. In comes Ngidi to bowl the penultimate ball. Oh, he bowled him! He's bowled him! He came down the wicket. He tried to swing across the line. Moeen Ali, under the greatest of pressure, has failed, and England are probably going to lose this now. 175 for 8. 1 ball remaining, and Ngidi has bowled magnificently in this second spell, and quite rightly, Paul Collingwood's jittery leg has come to a standstill.
Moeen, my man.
In Moeen we don't trust.
very good dipping slower Yorker from Lungi Ngidi, and he's I think he saw Moeen Ali coming a little bit, maybe.
Just sort of yorked himself a little bit.
I think he did. It was not a good shot at all. I mean, he had to get bad on that and get a run. That was all he had to think about. I know Jordan wouldn't have faced and would have been down needing 2 off the final ball, but it's going to be very hard to get 3 off this final ball. You're going to have to go for the big hit, aren't you?
Got to go for it now.
It will be...
Would it be Rashid or Wood?
Well, you'd put Wood out there, wouldn't you?
Could.
Well, from what we've seen this winter, you've got to go for Wood.
Series. It's Rashid. Is what the graphics tell us.
That is what the graphic is telling us. We wait to see which particular figure emerges from the dugout. But,
well, I guess they're both naught off naught, so it doesn't really matter. Is it almost better to be out caught at this stage of the innings so you can at least cross?
Yeah, I mean, I think I really would have put Wood in at this stage. And I mean, obviously Rashid is the better batsman, generally speaking. But I mean, how much cricket has he played in recent months? So there's one ball to go. Doesn't really matter. He's not a massive hitter of the ball. He has got great wrists if he can work it and find the gap. But he's also got to get enough power into the shot. That's the difficulty for him. 3 runs are required then. 1 ball remaining. I think this is gone as far as England are concerned. But
2 for a super over.
2 for a super over is what's required. Well, let's have 2 for a super over. I'm quite happy to take that. Maybe we could have what's the odds of having 3 super over games in one T20 series? That would be magnificent.
Well, India, New Zealand had 2.
They had
2 in a row.
That's true. Just trying to get the field right. 2 in the circle, backward point and extra cover on the offside that I can see. There's a wide-ish mid-on. And a man on the 45 on the leg side. Those are the 4 men inside the circle, and we swing around to see the deeper fielders. Here we go then. It's going to be Ngidi into Adil Rashid. Rashid strokes it through mid-wicket. He's got to come back for a second. He's going to get nowhere near. Hasn't got anywhere near enough. And England have lost by 1 run. England have lost. South Africa have won. And you've got to say, somewhere along the line, a couple of times, in fact, England got that horribly wrong. Quinton de Kock is all smiles. He's immediately hugged by Dale Steyn, and the South African crowd erupts. England wonder, why on earth did we manage to muck that up again? South Africa win by just a single run, and, well, even 5-6 overs ago, you wouldn't have seen that coming. And you can look at this much vaunted England line-up, the big hitters they've got there, but it was all about taking pace off the ball. Buren Hendricks, who didn't come in until the 14th over, and Ngidi coming back after conceding 20 from his first 2, bowled absolutely beautifully under a lot of pressure. And well, South Africa haven't had a lot to celebrate this winter, their summer, but they will certainly take their time absorbing this one and enjoying this one. Excellent stuff from South Africa. 1 run win, and we go to Durban on Friday.
England should never have let it get that close. There were a number of occasions where they had that game in the bag, really, and just let their inability to pick up the pace of the pitch get the better of them. I mean, Buren Hendricks bowled quite brilliantly, coming on, I think, in the 15th over, actually, and bowling just his 3 overs. And Ngidi came back well. Pehle Kwayo and Tabraiz Shamsi did good work in the middle overs, but it didn't look like it was going to be enough. But Owen Morgan never got the pace of the pitch. Ben Stokes never got the pace of the pitch. I mean, Morgan a little bit at the end, but Joe Denley never got the pace of the pitch. And it just got to the situation where England cut that too fine. And I don't know, fittingly or not, but Dale Steyn it was who underarmed the ball into Quinton de Kock and had the last word.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't see because Dale Steyn was right on the edge of the circle, and couldn't tell whether he'd got it square enough that he might have had a chance of getting back for a second. As it was, Dale Steyn just kept very cool, walked in, underarmed it to the keeper, and Quinton de Kock did the rest. So magnificent victory and a surprisingly entertaining and close first encounter between these two in East London. We move on to Durban, where of course we lost most of the one-day international there. due to rain. We hope that we won't have similar problems on Friday. We'll have a few final tweets and then we shall say our goodbyes.
Beijing Ducks 15 minutes ago said I put money on Moeen Ali finishing this very quickly. The game more likely. His innings. Guinevere says, what's smaller than a millimetre? James Taylor. Mayank says, watching the last few overs on TV. What an end. Mayank says, why would you go for that shot, needing 5 off 5 and already 6 down? Tom Curran is a moron. Mayank says, if I have to watch another super over, I'll throw my TV in the bin. Mog says, have I missed anything? Beijing Ducks says, South Africa, the much better death bowling team. Well done, Saffers. Truly deserved. To be honest, England's death bowling was very, very good. So I'm not quite sure that. The death batting, however, was left a lot to be desired. Gitson Grat says, what a turn around. Every now and then we fall apart.
Indeed we do.
I've got that one horribly wrong pitch-wise, but there we go. Yeah, that's us up to date.
Right, well, that means that we will be back. Thank you for your company today. We will be back at about 10 minutes to 4 GMT on Friday afternoon, when we will have the likes of Jules, the likes of Jason, a bit of Rog, a bit of me, a bit of Bear, and quite a lot of Andy Ward. But today we've had wonderful performances from the likes of Wes, who will now at least be able to catch his train.
Yeah.
Knuckle on my left, the Bear out there in the kitchen, along with who else is out there in the kitchen?
Well, Steve was here.
Steve, who's gone, and one other.
Not Fred.
Not Fred Titmus, of course. So, from all of us, we were glad that you could join us. Please join us again on Friday. Until then, if we've got the theme tune ready to run, we shall say our fond farewell.
Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency.